Greetings, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button for me. There's a PayPal link down there for anybody who wants to share some love. Greetings, Big Stank. Everybody else in there, say greetings. Let me know you're there. And of course, I'm just going over the video I did yesterday. I've already got people saying that it was too conflated. They couldn't follow through. So I'm going to simplify everything that I did yesterday in relations to the banker's life insurance and how it works. Now, when you get insurance, insurance is a contract that is technically what you're doing is you're securitizing the application without knowing it. When you fill out an application for a life insurance policy or any other insurance policy, what you're doing is you're filling out a document through an insurance company that is then going to act as a board of directors to make investments. Now, this is the same kind of situation that happens with a bank loan. When you go in and get a bank loan and you sign a document, but within that document, there are certain things that are made as part of the contract that you're not aware of because you either don't read it or you don't understand it. And so what's happening is they securitize the application, just like they securitize the loan application. Okay? When they securitize that, that's yours. See, you are supposed to have equal consideration in that. That's what contracting is about. And when they remove your interests and your rights, there is no equal consideration, and that's called unconscionable contracting. So what happens is when you fill out that application gets securitized, you end up signing up for an installment plan as well. Those are two different contracts. And what you're doing is those monthly installment payments that you're paying that are now called premiums, those are being used for investments. They are pooled together with everybody else that makes their payments and then invested by hypothecating those assets. We'll call them assets because they're your asset. That money is your asset before you hand it over to them for a quote payment. Then they take it, they put it on their ledger as an asset. Now they get to invest it without you being given any interest. And this is the fraud. It's not supposed to happen like that. You're supposed to be able to maintain your rights and interests in it. That's your property. Okay? So when she first applied in 2017, the way it was supposed to work is that at the time she made the premium payment, that was supposed to pay for the $10,000 if she died within the term of the life insurance policy. That life insurance policy runs for a number of years, not just month to month. The month to month is an installment plan that you've been induced into to make payments that they then hypothecate and pledge in their name as investments. That's where you're not getting any equal consideration. You have the equal consideration in the application. It's there, and all you have to do is a forensic securities audit. And it'll show all of that. So that's basically what's going on with the insurances. So when I went down and tried to offer cash, which is the domestic form of money under 18 U.S.C. 8, again, look at the 18 U.S.C. 8. You do not see money orders or checks under obligations and other securities in the United States because those are foreign currencies on the international level. Okay? So if you're going to pay in a foreign currency, still a property, that's what they're accepting, foreign currencies. Because they're not transfer agents. They're not supposed to be accepting domestic currencies. They're international investors. Put it to you that way. They're international investors. They're taking those international monetary instruments under the Bill of Exchange Act. And since you didn't exchange it with a bill, you gave them cash, they deposit that as an asset, and then they get to invest in it. So again, under UCC, which is here in the United States, is the Bill of Exchange. The United States doesn't call it the Bill of Exchange Act. Other countries do. It's an international act under national law of nations, otherwise known as the principles of the laws of nature. And when they're doing this stuff and you don't know, that's on you. When you go into things, you're supposed to have a certain knowledge. And if you don't, you should be afraid. You should be in fear that they're going to rip you off because you're a dummy. You're a big dummy corporation. In effect, a United States citizen known as United States business acting like a dummy because he doesn't know any better. That's literally a dummy corporation doing things for everybody else without the knowledge. So think about this stuff and realize that when you're doing these financial instruments, I urge you to learn the Bill of Exchange Act. Yes. Greetings, La India Maria. And Luke rocks a lot, says marriage contract is another fraud. It's an undisclosed, it's certain sets of undisclosed informations that make it unconscionable. And therefore it's void on its face. So when we get all up in arms about these bills and everything, look up the International Bills of Exchange Act and the UCC. Put them side by side, compare them, and see that they are the same thing. Look at UNCITRAL, United Nations, United Nations International Contract Law. Let me see, UNCITRAL. No, United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, UNCITRAL, United Nations Commission on International Trade Law. And these are the people that put out that law of nations. When the UN was created, that's when they developed the law of nations for modern times, to have multiple nations come together as a treaty alignment so they could provide for their international trade and business. And that's what it's about, trade and business. You're performing in public. You're functioning in public. You have a private contract for the sale of goods or services, but you're performing in public. They say private and public don't mix. And technically in law, they don't. But as we perceive them, they do. This guy that's running a business with public accommodations, and he's got a private contract that says he can do business with you or he can choose not to do business with you. That's one of the main points of contract law, is the ability to say, no, I don't want to do business with you for whatever reason. They can't force you into contract, okay? So again, when it comes to the life insurance policy, you have to understand they're fomenting different contracts that you don't know about. That's unconscionable. So as I explained yesterday, when they tried to say that if she didn't continue payment, then the life insurance policy would terminate, is what they said in one letter. And then when we got the letter yesterday telling us that, okay, we're done, we haven't received payment. So what we've done is we've used the other $1,189.82 in the policy to purchase a temporary life insurance policy. And your policy will terminate March 26th, 2034. That one little statement tells us that the policy is in effect until 2034. That means even regardless of whether they get any more payments, which they won't, and the fact that they've said they've spent the other $1,189.82 left in the policy for that short-term policy. They still have to pay out $10,000 if she passes on between now and March 26, 2034. And again, that's because of the application being securitized for $43.33 for that $10,000 policy. All the other payments after that, those are different contracts. You have to understand you're being duped. And with that, I want to thank everybody for joining me again today for this short little thing to hopefully explain what's going on there. And Hadassah says, right, a marriage is just a partnership. That is the contract term, marriage. And wedlock, wed, as in wet. That's what wed stands for, wet. Water, lock, it's a water bond. It's when you procreate. That's a wedlock. That's what consummates your relationship with another woman in the purpose of life to bear children, not to have fun. I just rescinded that application. Why rescind? If it's an investment, you have an interest in it, why would you rescind it? I would do, in my opinion, and this is not legal advice, I would do maybe a forensic securities audit so that you could determine whether you can do a call it back early. There's a bond out there that's supposed to wait until maturity before it pays out. If you do a forensic securities audit, find out that they've done an investment that you weren't aware of, and you were supposed to be receiving dividends or proceeds, and you haven't, that would prove reason of bad faith or something that, hey, it hasn't been going right, so therefore I want to quit the game, but I'm still requiring to be made whole for the investment that was made in that name for me. I don't, again, it's quit listening to everybody else. You have to do your research. I don't know that I would rescind. There are certain things that I may not enter into anymore, but things that I've done in the past as my comprehension, if that signature is something that securitizes everything, I don't necessarily think I want to rescind them. I want to go back and find the value that is still due and owing to me, that may have been abandoned. That's where you have people that are talking about the 1099s and stuff. So again, you have to do your research. Quit believing everybody else. And on that note, I'll tell you once again, don't believe me. Don't believe the neighbor. Don't believe the government. And for crying out loud, don't believe your mother. Do your research so you know. And you guys know me. I love you, but I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back. That's to say, I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you don't respect me. The Sanity Machine, King Stephen, Queen Queefin, El Perro, you aged 20 years in the last 4. Drop your anger. You can say that all you want. You haven't known me for 4 years. So anyway, you guys know me. I love you, but I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back. That's say I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you don't respect me. That's on you. May God bless you and have a good day.